to be clear, what our technology is focused on is not like full-on learning management system. Okay, that is not our space. I want you to author web content that is very high quality. And I can sort of start to blur the lines of what constitutes web content. So for example, I mentioned a video player. In the instructional design land, we have a tag called self-check. So instead of understanding to make the collapse, apply the CSS correctly, ensure that you're maintaining accessibility, just to basically have a click and reveal the answer sort of relationship in a CK editor field, you drag and drop our self-check tag on the page. You get a form that says like, well, what's the title going to be? You fill in the title. It's actually updating the associated HTML. So it's doing it in a way that's easy for
Holding
you
your
to,
hand.
yeah, that you can look at and just modify that purpose. We have multiple choice tags. We have single question tags. We have true false tags. We have matching tags. We have tagging tags. That's a tagging question. I think there's 8. Yeah, I messed this up there. We have, I believe, 8 very instructional design focused things because I work in an ID shop so that we can put courses online. And so while the technology has implications for the wider web, it is ultimately focused on like course content, ebook development. But instead of going into like, say, Tiny MCE and you're writing a paragraph, you don't know it, right? You're just typing. And when you hit enter, you are actually writing HTML, right? So like this is already happening unbeknownst to you. We're just adding another layer of robustness as far as what
you can do.
Yeah, these other semantic tags. And everything that we save is HTML at the end of the day. So you're not getting locked into like an articulate way of doing business, right?
It's easily shareable then between people doing this type of dynamic, right? It's kind of what I'm understanding. You were kind of giving us a little bit of heads up as we were talking about kind of the best I could put it into, and I think you even mentioned this was like how we are sharing files and things like that. This type of dynamic is more shareable between users of being able to share content and setups. And I think you even mentioned about being able to like remix something.
Yeah,
somebody else did.
So if you start at the blocks, right? No one ever questions if so you've made that content in Canvas and you hit view source and I highlight all the stuff, the HTML tag stuff, right? If I copy that and pasted it somewhere else, there's no question that it would work.
Yeah.
Okay. But if I did that with the entire Canvas application, it obviously wouldn't work, right? Like that wouldn't make sense necessarily. However, why? Well, because they had to build the application in a certain way. And so if they built the application in the same way that you actually went and constructed that initial text, you could actually have the entire thing be portable and run your own Canvas, right? So in our case, as you keep building up, right? And I said, it's this Russian nesting dolls approach, we get to a full technology we call HAX site. So there is a tag called HAX CMS site builder.
Okay.
And that is able to effectively play a like book of content, if you will, an outline structure. And so we have a CMS that lets you easily add pages, but when you're adding pages, it just creates new blank HTML files. And then when you hit edit, it just uses the HAX editor to capture that HTML structure and save it into that blank file. And so we're looking at the web as a ubiquitous file format, right? Like the advantage fundamentally of technologies like H5P, of articulate storyline, of Flash back in the day, is that I could take that file and I could download it and I could give it to you and it would work the same way every time. And so we don't want to just do that for the individual bricks. We want to do that for the entire content experience. And so HAX sites, you can build a site on hacks.psu.edu in our case, or you can run the technology locally. We have a desktop app. We have, if you're a developer, like local copies you can install. It's installable on Reclaim Cloud and Reclaim Hosting. So if you make a site, you can go into the dashboard and hit download and get a zip that is that website.
Wow.
And that works anywhere else you would throw it. But because of the way we built this, when you're making a site, I mean, I could show it if it makes it easier. But when you're making a site, you can point to any existing site that is publicly accessible, and it will take a copy of that site. And now you are working from an exact copy of what that is. Because using this principle of design, of these little pieces that we keep building up from that are shipped to easy definitions, I can give you an entire website by just knowing the structure of an existing one.
Wow.
So it is a OER remixing powerhouse. Absolutely.